So with Dark Souls Nightfall being released just yesterday, there's a whole bunch of new content and new mechanics to learn. Although the full version was supposed to be released before Elden Ring, due to certain complications, now it's been postponed, but instead we're getting a demo. This demo includes 2 new areas and 3 bosses we can face. Yes, all of these bosses, models, and music are custom and are not in the base game, meaning that this is new content that isn't rehashed. And my goodness, there is a lot of really fun content, and I was blessed enough to have the time to experience all of it and be able to play through the demo multiple times using all the starting classes. Needless to say, this video is about all the starting classes and which one is best for your playstyle. Now keep in mind, this game's pacing and mechanics are vastly different from the original, and because of this reason, the game is going to be encouraging you to have a more aggressive and fast playstyle. So although some classes might be better than most, there's still quite a bit to learn about this game. In today's video, I'm going to be trying to help you guys figure out which starting class is best for you in the Dark Souls Nightfall demo. With all that being said, let's start. So the demo gives you the option to pick from 6 different starting classes, with the other 4 just being jokes that are basically like Soul Level 1 Deprived class. Also, all the starting gifts are pendants, with one of them having a pendant with a question mark, even though I don't understand why. But they all do nothing, so don't worry about that. The real only thing that matters is the starting class. There's the Runic Knight, the Exile, the Vagabond, the Interloper, the Protector, and the Royal Knight, with the other 4 basically just being jokes. Let's first start with the Runic Knight. So the Runic Knight overall has pretty high endurance and is rocking a quality-like build. However, in this game, more of your stats you're going to want to rely off offense rather than having high vitality and possibly even a bit of endurance if you really wanted to. But having around 20 to 30 endurance should be able to pull you through the whole game. Although I personally think that your offense is going to be more important, since you're not really going to have much time in battle to heal unless you can really get out some good spacing because of how fast paced this game is compared to the original. Because of this reason, the Runic Knight might be a good starting class for some, because the new feature in this game basically has you trade. If you decide to two-hand your weapon, you'll go into the supersonic fast speed mode, and when you're in this speed mode, you cannot access your heals or your main method of healing, which is the effigies. So you're going to have to be relying on fast movement, and if you do end up getting hit, you're going to have to heal by attacking the opponent to get some of your health back. Now, some classes more than others are going to have slow swinging weapons, so you might not be able to get back all of your health. This also depends on how much damage an attack does to you and how much damage you can do to rally up your health back. When an enemy attacks you, you have a bit of opportunity to get your health back by attacking them pretty much immediately. This is what's known as a rally. You might remember this from Bloodborne, as this game does share many characteristics within its mechanics that you probably will recognize from that game. Also, another cool mechanic is that L1 and L2 both have an attacking feature, just like in Dark Souls 3. So yes, every weapon does have its own weapon art, and although R1 and R2 basically act the same as in the original, where again light attacks, they are slightly faster in this supersonic mode, which is where you're going to be wanting to spend most of your time when in combat. However, if you do decide to go slower, you will have the ability to heal with your Umbrus effigies and use your offhand weapon. Now in most cases, if you get a shield, shields are not going to be too good in this game, as none of them that you get from your starting classes have 100% physical reduction. Because of this reason, you're not going to really want to favor turtling up behind a shield, especially since you're likely going to end up taking a lot of damage and getting stamina broken to begin with. Now, there are other offhand weapons such as catalysts and whips that come with the starting classes. However, we're going to get into that later in the video. Overall, you might be wondering why I'm explaining all the mechanics this early on, mostly because number one, the game is so new, but also because it's going to affect how these starting classes will play out during your experience. So, let's get back to the Runic Knight. I know I spent a lot of time talking there, but the Runic Knight has a long sword and a shield, along with sporting a really cool armor set. And every armor set in this game, including the ones that are from the original, all have been greatly reduced in their equipment load, with some of the heaviest only being around 1.7, which is incredible. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot fat roll, which I guess in this case is fat dashing. Yeah. equipment load is, but it's more going to happen from wearing heavy weapons than anything else. But for the most part, you're not going to have to worry about that. Anyways, back to Runic Knight. The Runic Knight has a very nice fast swinging weapon known as the Kyomun? I don't know how to really pronounce it. Either way, this Kyomun sword is a long sword that is dealing 100 physical damage. However, because of its fast L1s, which most weapons in this game that have L1s are going to be your fast attacking weapon, which is very, very good for when you do rallies. So it's very important that you take advantage of this. Although R1s can also be effective, especially your dash attacks, overall having a faster swinging weapon with faster R1s and L1s is going to help you out a lot. Your R2 is more your special attack, but it could be good in some situations. Heavies have their purpose for stagger, but more than likely you're not going to be utilizing them as much. The Kyomun is basically your standard knight longsword, and it definitely does stand to the test of time as a solid starting weapon. The Suctum shield has a 50% physical reduction, and fire reduction isn't too great. Overall, you're not going to be using a shield, so it doesn't make a difference. But let's get to our armor, which is basically going to be a fashion soul for pretty much every single armor set in the game. And overall, it's a really cool detail. The Runic Knight kind of reminds me of the warrior set from Dark Souls 3 mixed in with an original tower shield. And that's really cool, and I think that overall it's a very interesting looking armor. If you guys want to start with the starting class, although your vitality is a tad low, your endurance and strength and dexterity are balanced. The Runic Knight has the highest endurance out of all the starting classes in the game, and it also has a nice quality of 16 strength and 16 dex. It's a solid starting weapon, and even though the scaling on the Kyomun is pretty meh, it still deals some nice damage, and you do get fast swinging attacks if you need to do a rally. So overall, the Runic Knight is definitely for anybody that wants to be a quirky knight in the realm of Dark Souls. The Exile class, at a first impression, looks kinda weird. I know it's supposed to be somebody that's banished from the Eastern lands, wielding a katana. However, this character is definitely on the dexterity side since, come on, katana. Wielding 18 dexterity and 12 strength, along with relatively high endurance being 20, with vitality being its low point at 10, you've overall got a pretty good dex wielding character. Now, although your vitality is on the low side, your endurance and dexterity more to make up for it. Because this weapon, the Tachi, is one of the coolest katanas in this game. Its moveset with its fast swinging attacks and L1s allow you to rack up rally after being hit very, very fast. And if you're bold enough, you will be able to get back all of your health if you lose it. Because of this reason, the Tachi katana also has the ability to bleed, which also further extends its usefulness on the battlefield. Overall, you might be wondering why I'm not wearing the clay pot and prisoner's rags, and instead I've settled to use 2B. Well, that's because I love 2B and her curves. So yeah. Exile class is probably one of the best classes in this game, since overall being able to keep up with the fast-paced and aggressive combat and still being able to get a very relatively quick recovery on your rallies is super important. Also, this katana can parry, which is really cool, and that is another reason why the Exile class is a pretty stellar class to start off with. Plus, at its lower levels, you can also bump it up more in dexterity, or if you want, pump up your endurance. The Vagabond class has one of the coolest armor sets in this game. The pelt set looks amazing, and you obtain it in the Green Hill Zone, which is the second area, meaning you can pretty much get this on whichever character you want in the demo. However, what really makes the Vagabond shine is not only its high endurance, but its high strength and vitality, being relatively higher than moderate at 17. Yes, endurance is 21, making it have the second highest endurance out of any starting class, with 18 strength being very generous with a 14 dex for your Kanobo, which is the weapon, which is the club that you wield, which has 500 ox proct with bleed. So you are doing really good damage. Also, that's not to forget the fact that the Kanobo club's L2 basically is a double strike, and it's just automatic, which can definitely help you with your rally when you get hit. Overall, this club is a very fast swinging weapon, and it can definitely help you even in hard situations to get off a stagger. Even though in the offhand we do have the Fang Whip, which is a new weapon, the Fang Whip just does not seem to be ideal in any situations, although you can parry with it. Again, I don't see much of a reason to, since there isn't too many enemies that you can really parry in this game that will really benefit you, since guess what? you cannot riposte. So yeah, just keep to your lightning speed and dash attacks, and you will basically be able to bonk the whole demo with this starting class. The Interloper has very low vitality, and its endurance is not the highest. However, it does have 14 attunement and 24 intelligence with 12 faith. Now, although its armor does look really weird, its weapons are actually surprisingly good, with the Katana having split attack and magic, being 70 physical, 50 magic, and its scaling is split between dexterity, faith, and intelligence. Overall, really weird for a short sword, but this short sword doesn't have the ability of R1 slashes, but also R2 thrusts. So it basically acts as a short sword and a rapier. It also has very fast L1s, and its L2 is pretty nice as well. I was kind of on the fence with 9 vitality and a short sword as my starting class weapons, because overall this class I just felt like magic wasn't going to be too ideal with casting because of how fast paced the gameplay is. And I was right. However, the Sister's Chime, all of its stats are better than the main weapon, which I just find to be so ironic. The Sacred Chime has 145 magic adjustment, 90 physical, 60 magic, B in strength, and B in intelligence. Overall, it's better than the Katana in almost every way except for its speed. Now, here's where the problem with this build arises. There's no magic in the demo to cast, and I just find this to be so weird. I know that this weapon that I mentioned earlier, the Katana, is very fast and has a good moveset, thankfully. And again, rally isn't going to be much of a problem because of that to get back your health. But overall, I feel like this was the one time the devs should have taken the advantage to give the player the choice to play a bit more slower and give them a rewarding spell like, say, the Dark Bead or Dark Orb or even Soul Arrow or Crystal Soul Arrow to use, and only give them 6 uses each between each Wellspring, which I decided to do myself. And honestly, I think that it works perfectly fine. Keep in mind here, I basically wiped all these bosses at level 18. So overall, I think that this class, even without any magic, is very effective. One thing to keep in mind, the Soul Mass spell items that you can pick up along the overworld actually add more homing Soul Mass the more intelligence you have. So at 24 intelligence, you're going to be able to spawn 3 instead of 5, which I think is kind of weird, but hey, whatever. It's another reason to pick this class. But I feel like in the final version we should get some type of spell to use, because I do feel like trading our speed for spells definitely is a good trade. The Protector. The Paladin of Carmen. The Paladin of Kareem. The Protector has 12 vitality, which again, sort of low. However, it has 18 endurance, which isn't bad, and it has 20 faith. That kind of reminds me of Lap's armor set and Garl Vinland's if they were put together and made this really antique gold. It's overall a really cool aesthetic, and its Great Saber and shield definitely pair together well with it. The Sightless Grace is a Great Saber. The Sightless Saber has a B scaling and faith and deals 133 magic damage. So yes, it's a magic only damage dealing weapon, but it has a very fast L2, really great R1s. Its L2 is pretty okay. I do think that it looks cool swinging it around, but overall I stick more to L1s and L2s. Also, it does deal blessed damage as well, which is cool. But the Formless Grace shield is actually a shield that has the ability to parry. You're not really going to be able to take advantage of that too much, since there isn't many enemies we can parry in this game where it's actually effective. But again, sticking to the fast supersonic speed is going to be the way to take on pretty much every class in this game. Overall, there isn't really too much more I can say about this class. It definitely relies more on magic, but also has this physical type of attack strategy to it that the Interloper doesn't really have, which I find to make this class, with the more faith-oriented build, a lot more unique. And I think it's really good. This class definitely felt like smooth sailing for me, but who knows, maybe you'll have a bit more trouble, or maybe it'll be a bit more easier for you. Now for the last class of this video. I'm going to be honest and tell you right now, they had to have taken inspiration from Elden Ring and Demon Souls to make this class, because there was no way I wasn't going to beat this class my first time playing as soon as I saw it. Even though this fluted armor doesn't look the same as it does in Demon Souls, I still really appreciate its design and absolutely how cool it looks. Also paired with these weapons that look like they came right out of Elden Ring, if the developers decided to put this in the game and on purpose because of Elden Ring, that adds an even bigger bigger badass factor to this starting class. You start off with an ultra great sword known as the Gilded Regalia. And yeah, this moveset actually has an L2 that on its second swing does the Knight Artorias somersault sword crash flip, which is absolutely an awesome touch. It definitely reminds me of the Wolf Knight starting class in Elden Ring, I believe it's what's called. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Its shield also is giving off heavy Elden Ring vibes, but the Gilded Shield, like most other shields, will be ditched for the fast, aggressive combat style of two-wielding your weapon. Overall, the stats of this build aren't too bad either. 12 Vitality is a bit low, under moderate, but still it makes it up with 19 Endurance and 20 Strength with 14 Dex, so if you wanted to, you could try making this build into a quality build. Although the weapon scaling itself doesn't really seem to be favoring more towards Dex, but still very great to keep in mind. The one biggest disadvantage to this starting class is that the Gilded Regalia it's not good at all with rallying. It's actually probably one of the worst because of how slow of a moveset it does. Since there's nowhere where you can upgrade weapons in this game, you really are relying more off your stats and skills, and even then, you probably won't be doing enough damage fast enough to be able to get back all of your lost health. So even though this starting class is absolutely magnificent and badass, it might not be one of the best in the game. But definitely from its aesthetic appeal, it definitely is getting around the #1 spot, with the other 4 being the worst classes in the game: the Destitute, Wretch, Failure, and Fool. So, which starter class should you pick? Out of all of them, I'm gonna be honest, due to the fast-paced combat style, the Exile, Vagabond, and Protector, in my opinion, seem to be the 3 best classes in this game. I'm not saying that the Runic Knight, Interloper, and Royal Knight are not good starting classes. I'm just saying that you get more value out of the Exile due to its fast rally potential, along with the Vagabond sharing that feature, while the Protector still has rally potential while dealing out very nice damage with that great saber it's using. So, and keep in mind it's magic damage, and thankfully none of the enemies in this game resist magic as far as I know. Again, this is just a demo, but overall, if you're going to use any starting class, it would be these 3. But who am I kidding? You go out there and be the judge for yourself whether or not you think that my picks are correct or incorrect, and if you do disagree, let me know in the comment sections below. With all that being said, I want to thank all of you guys for not only watching this video, but all you guys I met and talked to on the stream yesterday. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. It's always such a great time being able to talk to you guys about the game and just talk about whatever the heck we want, and basically just have a great time watching me play through Dark Souls Nightfall. And I am thinking of doing a lot more Dark Souls Nightfall content on the channel, and you can definitely expect more of it until Elden Ring comes out. So if that does interest you in any way, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when those videos come out. Also, if you found this video helpful or informative or got value from the content, be sure to like the video. It helps me out a lot. Also, make sure to share this video with your friends or other people that are thinking on playing Dark Souls Nightfall. After all, it's free, and I don't know why you wouldn't. Also, a special thanks to Grim and his team, who came together to make this amazing sequel to the Dark Souls Dark Lore ending of the game. Absolutely a fantastic job. So, fantastic job to you guys. Seriously, love you so much. Thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. I do hope to see you guys next time. Honestly, come back anytime. You're always welcome here. And until we meet again, good luck on your journey through Dark Souls Nightfall. I will see you guys later. Peace out.